and people are wondering, like, man, they're 4-0. They just won the Super Bowl. And A.J. Brown keeps doing all this complaining. He's, putting out cryptic tweets. And let's read the tweet here from A.J. Brown. I think he's complaining about his touches, or he's been complaining about his touches. If you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. AJ, I think, has 14 receptions through the first 4 games, 151 yards, 1 TD. They won an important game on Sunday. They're 4-0, but he was not a factor in that game. And it sounds very selfish. They're 4-0. They just won a Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley's great. Why are you throwing Jalen Hurts under a bus, even though you're not calling him out by name? Because AJ, I think, is 28 years old. He knows that, hey, I got a short window to make a bunch of money. And I've already won a Super Bowl. Everybody knows I'm really good. If these numbers, I think he had 67 receptions last year in 13, 14 games. I think, his first year or second year there, he had 106 catches. Then all of a sudden, Saquon Barkley shows up. They start leaning more into Jalen Hurts. It's a different team. And he's sitting there doing the math saying, hey, man, my contract, I can potentially next offseason, be up for a new contract, and my numbers are going to be terrible, and I'm not going to make near the money that I could if I were in a passing offense. And looking at what just happened to Tyreek Hill, I get why A.J. Brown is concerned. Steve, you got any sympathy for A.J. Brown?
I do, because I think in general he's been a good soldier. He's been a very productive player, and he wants to contribute. Here's another factor besides the money, because he's been paid well, and he came into the league young, got a second contract relatively young. Maybe he wants to be a Hall of Famer. Maybe he's one of those players that actually cares about getting a yellow jacket. And with the numbers he's putting up now, he's thinking, well, wait a minute, now you're hurting my chance at immortality. But Jason, wide receivers want to be involved. They do. They just don't want to be the 7th blocker downfield. I'm sorry. The wide receivers that are very talented, like A.J. Brown, who's put up stats before, don't want to be a guy that's like, good job, A.J., way to sacrifice your game. He's willing to do his part, but I get it. If you are a caliber player that he is, you want to be utilized. Not only do you want to win, but Jason, I think at that level, you want to win while also contributing. I think those things can go together.
TJ, you're the former wide receiver in the bunch. What sympathy for AJ?
Well, look, I've sympathy for a really good player who's not getting the ball. Sure. Like, do I think he could be an effective player anywhere he goes? And has he been, instrumental in them winning the Super Bowl? Yes. Do I think this is the right way to handle it? Obviously not. I mean, show me a wide receiver that has mouthed off publicly over dumb stuff, passive aggressive social media stuff. Nobody even knows what you're just pretending that, I'm just posting this. Like, if you went and talked to him about it, I'm not sure he would even address it. This is textbook passive aggressive behavior. Show me a receiver that has demonstrated this behavior that has led to success on their team. Now, I know A.J. Brown complained a little bit last year, but it wasn't this far. Did T.O. complain and then suddenly everything went right? Or did he get voted off the island and have to go to the next place? Because that's what happened every time. Chad Johnson didn't have a whole lot of success when he wasn't getting the ball with the Bengals. Like, who are these guys that have come out, complained all about it, particularly on winning teams, defending Super Bowl champs, 4-0. People think, many people think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback, and they have the best running back in the league. So you're going to have a run game. You have a quarterback that's more than capable of running. You have an unstoppable play in the tush push, and you have the best running back in the game. And you're sitting there complaining when you're 4-0 defending Super Bowl champions. I don't think you have a huge leg to stand on here.
Steve, seem like you disagree.
Well, I look, what TJ said is correct. I just think it would be funny if the next book that A.J. Brown was reading on the sideline, I remember reading it after his rookie year, Keyshawn Johnson, and the title of the book is just Throw Me the Damn Ball. That would be an unbelievable statement. Or if Terrell Owens wrote a book, just whip that one out during an interlude. Now, that would be nothing passive-aggressive about that. But to be fair, T.O. was once labeled, I think by Skip Bayless, one of his better monikers, Team Obliterator. I don't think AJ is quite at the level of Team Obliterator just yet, to be fair.
He's inching.
No,
And I love the
but he's still
Keyshawn
miles
Johnson.
away. Come on.
I like the Keyshawn deal, and throw me the damn ball because there's another receiver. Did Keyshawn, was he on the Super Bowl team with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Not much of a factor, but on the team.
Yes, 2002.
But
he was a good player, by the way.
Yeah, and now that you bring up Keyshawn, that's because I'm like, A.J. Brown not in the Hall of Fame, but you're right. He could. But now look, what someone would argue is like, hey, man, win 2 or 3 Super Bowls with Philly, and you're like Michael Irvin. It's really not about the numbers. You were a part of this dynasty. And
Jason, keep this in mind. The wide receiver and passing numbers in many ways are really inflated. So the numbers Michael got, I mean, people forget, Michael even in the mid-90s was getting 100 catches. Him and Herman Moore put up monster numbers for that thing. And so when you have wide receivers who are waiting around like Steve Smith, Reggie Wayne, and A.J. Brown's thinking, well, wait a minute. If those guys aren't in surefire first ballot with those numbers, right now the way it's going, I have no shot. That's the truth.
It sounds like, Steve, my Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens comparisons off the table for you. This is nowhere. But I just think it could head that direction.
Not yet. Until I see Terrell Owens trying to have a discussion with Donovan, and Donovan's just like kind of like swerving away. Remember when they did that in Pittsburgh? We're not at that level yet. And I think A.J. Brown has enough self-awareness to know right now Jalen Hurts, he's untouchable. He's got some immunity given the fact the guy wins. He says all the right things. Now, if A.J. Brown makes a public scene on the sideline during a game, yes, now he's entering T.O. territory. I will admit that.
Well, I believe in this guy's talent. I think he's got some of the strongest hands, strongest upper body at the wide receiver position, can make every tough catch, and he is an important player. But this is going to get delicate and dicey for Jalen Hurts, and he's another guy. Jalen Hurts gets a lot of credit for the way he handles himself, and I know there's a debate: is he top 5? Is he top 10? But you know, he's also getting paid a lot of money, and A.J. Brown is sitting over there saying, "I'm more valuable than my quarterback, who's a hindrance to me, and he's making far more money than me." And everybody loves to say they don't pocket watch, they don't count other guys' money. There's more counting of other guys' money in the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball than any place on the planet. They do it all the time. TJ, final thought if you have one real quick.
Well, look, if he wants to make a Hall of Fame case, it's actually not Philly that is the place he's going to be able to do it. He's at best the 3rd best player on his own offense right now. Jalen Hurts would put people ahead of AJ, and certainly Saquon Barkley. Okay, and so you're not getting the credit. You're not going to. You're going to keep winning Super Bowls. The quarterback gets the credit. If your name's not Trent Dilfer, your quarterback is going to get the credit. He's a black quarterback, so he's going to get a lot of credit. He's going to get extra credit for being black. Okay, and then you have Saquon Barkley, the best running back in the league, and who's jumping over people backwards. So A.J. Brown is an afterthought. And if you don't get the attention, even if you have the stats, you see that is problematic. Look at Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt's a great example. Torrey Holt was arguably a top 2 receiver for a decade, from 2000 to 2010. He is in a logjam, and they will not put him in. Why? Because Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner and Orlando Pace and Isaac Bruce were all on that same team. And guess what? A Hall of Fame resume hadn't gotten Torrey Holt very far.
Yeah.
Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.